students, and they had their English books, and I also used to give me your English book, and I used to read something out of it. And it's always, every time we read, we gain something.
Of
So
course.
that is a good initiative. The first time. So I would give you an opportunity to break the ice and introduce yourself first.
Yeah, yeah, of course, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. It would be really honorable for me to introduce myself. So, actually, I belong to Bihar State and
Mm-hmm.
I'm a primary teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, nowadays I'm helping to the learner by
Mm-hmm.
sharing my experiences. And
Mm-hmm.
if I discuss about my hobbies, so I like to talk with the new peoples every day
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
traveling at different kinds of places for the varying
Mm-hmm.
purpose. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, it's all about me.
That's great. You seem to me a quite a vivacious person, lively. You love doing things like exploring new things. That's great about you. So let
Thank you,
me
ma'am.
also introduce myself. So my name is Sunita Rawat, and I come from a beautiful village in Chamoli, Uttarakhand. And I am a homemaker, full-time homemaker, and I'm homeschooling my kids. I have two kids. Other than that, my hobbies are interact with people, same as you, and to read books. This is the new hobby that I have recently added to my list. And other than that, my hobbies, keeps changing with time. So these days, it's teaching and interacting with people. So that's a bit about me. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, ma'am, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, ma'am, I would like to know your starting, your beginnings. When have you
My
started your spoken
this
journey? Yeah.
Okay. So it's like I'd always been in English medium school, and but there was an atmosphere, like not many people were talking in English that time. Like I was in KV. You must have heard about it, Kendra
Yeah.
Vidyalaya. So
Yes.
we don't have that kind of atmosphere, that English speaking atmosphere in KV. And mostly we used to speak in Hindi only. But we get to read textbook, and whatever we were gaining in English, that was from textbooks only. Whatever just we are getting. And after that, I went for my graduation and post graduation. And again, it was English medium, but then also there was not an environment where people are speaking in English, and that's so again, I was good at writing. I was always good at writing, but not at speaking. And then
Mhm.
when I have joined my company as HR, so that time I was compelled to speak in English when I had to speak with my candidates for scheduling their interviews and all. So that's when I started speaking in English on a regular basis with my candidates, and that is how I have started this journey. And then
Oh,
gradually, like while I kept on talking with my candidates, I gradually improved on this skill. And later on, when I had my kids, I had to leave my job. And I think I had a gap of around 3 to 4 years when I was not at all speaking in English. And a little bit here and there, I was speaking with my kids and my husband. So
mm-hmm.
that was a long gap. And after that, out of the blue, I realized that I want to do something in my life now. And I thought, I should become English trainer, because I am quite passionate about this language, learning and teaching. So I thought I should become an English trainer. So for that reason only, I'm working upon it now, very sincerely, and very, you can say I'm very determined about this language now, and I am working upon it.
Yeah,
So that
ma'am.
is
That's
my
a
journey.
really
So
that's a quite,
hmm.
I think, inspirational journey of yours. Because
Mm-hmm.
you are if any people are good at speaking English, so
Mm-hmm.
it would be much convenient for that person's life to just establishing some like an institute, for especially learn
Mm-hmm.
for the learner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you are doing
Right.
well because beginner also are having, I think, opportunity by having the good guidance to you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you are
Right,
well
right.
experienced also. That's really
Mm-hmm.
great,
Right.
ma'am.
But for being a trainer, we need to have a vast knowledge of this subject.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can consider, ma'am, like this is challenging, you know, for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Challenging
Right.
way to just
Mm-hmm.
emerging your knowledge, expand
Mm-hmm.
your experiences in this
Mm-hmm.
field also. So
Mm.
it's your benefit also, no? You are
Mhm.
grabbing knowledge and you are sharing, right,
Mm.
around the
Mm.
people. And this way you
Mm.
can create your better identification around the people as well, right?
Mm. Right, right. So it is beneficial overall from all the aspects.
Yes,
Mm. So would
that's a
you like
great,
to
ma'am.
tell me about your journey?
Yeah, of course, ma'am. Actually, I also belong to a village you can consider. And
Mm-hmm.
I think 1 year before I started my English journey, at that
Mm-hmm.
time I didn't have any kinds of facilities as
Mm-hmm.
usually the beginner are having nowadays. Like I
Mm-hmm.
did not have any companion with whom I could interact, and
Mm-hmm.
even there was no any guidance as well. I was
Mm-hmm.
not attending any classes as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem was that how could I learn without
Mm-hmm.
having the guidance of any teachers? So I
Mm-hmm.
had a phone, so I started exploring different kinds of ideas of teachers you can consider. So
Mm-hmm.
I just wrote down how to improve speaking um, without what I say like without attending any classes.
Mm.
How can
Without a
I
tutor, you
learn?
could say.
Yeah,
Mm.
how can I learn without taking any class by self?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then the one ma'am used to say like there is no requirement of attending classes if you have the
Mm-hmm.
smartphone, so you can utilize this phone in good manner, so you can learn easily
Mm-hmm.
this language. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I got the idea and started
Mm-hmm.
utilizing
Mm-hmm.
these phones. I approached to the so many applications. There I had
Mm-hmm.
a session with many people as audio conversation. So I
Mm-hmm.
kept going on 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
After
Mm-hmm.
crossing 6 months, I got to know about video conversation. Then I got to idea like if I would make some channel, so that would be much
Mm-hmm.
convenient to approaching to the people and having
Mm-hmm.
interacting with like interactions with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can maintain my consistency as well, sharing my
Mm-hmm.
experiences also around the student. That's
Mm,
why
right.
my journey, this kinds of.
Mm-hmm. That's great and inspirational too. So, what worked best for you to improve your English speaking?
According to me, ma'am, if you regularly, if you are reading any story, any
Mm-hmm.
kinds of story,
Mm-hmm.
so this way you can learn so many things. Learning
Mm-hmm.
vocabulary, having the sense
Mm-hmm.
of other, as well
Mm-hmm.
as you are going to learn how to transforming sentence situationally, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
what kind of books do you read?
Mm, Actually, normal books because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
teacher in private
Mm-hmm.
school. So
Mm-hmm.
usually I'm taking any classes,
Mm-hmm.
books, English books, and
Mm-hmm.
I used to read.
That's great because once I was, a tutor to small novels also. Novels are also very interesting.
You are right, ma'am. But
Mm.
initially, if you're going to preferring yourself to reading these kinds of stuff, so you are having a different kinds of vocabulary that would be
Mhm.
become the cause of losing your interest, right?
Mhm.
So making
Right.
interesting your journey,
Mhm.
a part of
Mhm.
spoken English, you have to
Mhm.
be through easiest way. That is much convenient
Mhm.
for you, right?
Mm.
To holding
But
yourself for a long period of time.
exactly. The journey should be enjoyable and it should not, put stress on you. Or you can even, after consuming a lot of content from YouTube and books and from everywhere, you'll become anxious while you talk.
Yeah, your
So that
excitement has
happens
been
with most of the.
increasing during time, right, ma'am?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
humans are very unpredictable nature. If
Mm-hmm.
you are not, enjoying any process, so
Mm-hmm.
suddenly you give up. Okay,
Mm. Right, right,
whether
right.
this is right for you, but
Mm-hmm.
instead of you are willing to give up, no matter how,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why.
This happens with me too when I watch, English movies. I usually couldn't get along because I feel it quite boring. I couldn't relate to their culture or the stories. So that is why I got bored halfway through. So I just stopped that movie right there and I'm usually interested in animated English movies. So that
Oh,
makes me, stick to the movies. So
okay.
I usually go for that kind of movies
Yeah,
only.
ma'am. I think,
Mm-hmm.
by watching English web series is also part of my hobbies. Because
Mm-hmm.
since I started my English journey, before
Mm-hmm.
I have been watching that kinds of web
Mm-hmm.
series, but in Hindi
Mhm,
language. But when I
mhm,
started, so I just
mhm,
involved in, just eight this is also in my list. like watching
Mm-hmm.
American web series with English language,
Mm-hmm. Mm,
right?
great, great. So, what is your ultimate goal that you are learning this language, English language? So, what is your ultimate goal to learn this?
Yeah, ma'am. My ultimate goal, I just want to become good in this field,
Mm-hmm.
in English field. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is
Okay,
my
great.
ultimate goals. Yeah.
And what do you teach in your school? Which subject?
As I usually I'm teaching English subject
Mm-hmm.
in a schools. Yeah.
Mm, that's great. So this can also help you in that domain also. To
Yeah, you can
improve.
consider it is a just reasons, to involve
Mm-hmm.
myself in this field, right?
Mm-hmm.
To keep myself long period of time. Because
Mm-hmm.
you can consider this kinds of situation has been just motivating you, right? It
Mm-hmm.
will
Right, right.
relieving you like, yeah, you do not forget your target of
Mm-hmm.
your life. You are still
Mm-hmm.
existence in this comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
in that criteria,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right, right, right. Getting out of comfort zone is really very important. I
Yeah,
also,
ma'am.
at times earlier when I had nothing to do, like when I was free, I used to take a nap or sleep for a good time. But now, instead of taking a nap or sleeping, I invest my time in learning or improving myself.
Yeah, ma'am. You remembering me, Santa, ma'am. She is
Mm-hmm.
also one of you. One of them like you.
That's a
Okay.
big compliment for me.
Yeah. The same
I
journey,
also look up to her. And I also
Yeah.
watch her videos, and she's really nice. She has that, calm demeanor, and she speaks very nicely with, very, with good pace. She speaks. She don't speak too fast or too slow, but very good pace, so that even beginners could also understand her.
Yeah, ma'am. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking very fast doesn't mean like you're going to, letting your appearance very attractive around the peoples.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Hmm.
you must have some intonations of sounds of
Hmm.
speaking,
Exactly.
and other
Hmm.
people conveniently having the meaning of you, right?
Hmm.
Otherwise,
Yes,
there is
yes.
no man to be having the discussion with other peoples about any matters, right?
Hmm. It will all go in vain if the other person is not able to process what you want to say to them. Then he'll
Yes,
go blank.
yeah,
What to
because
say?
yes, ma'am.
Mm,
You just consider about in the reality whenever you start discussing with any your relatives about any
mm,
matters. At that time,
mm,
how will you discuss? Very fast or in a
mm,
normal way, right?
in a
And
normal way.
ultimately, what is the intention of our life to learning this
Mm,
language? We can
mm,
use this language in day-to-day life to discussing about various kinds of matter in a normal
mm.
way, right?
Right, right, right.
So it's our
Mm,
responsibility before facing that kinds of situation into our life.
mm,
We have to become the familiar of this situation and
exactly.
inculcating these kinds of habits soon,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly, exactly. So, what do you think, other than just learning this language, what other, skills one should have to be able to communicate effectively?
Other skill,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, according to me, ma'am, as much as knowledge you are going to grab into your life, that
Mm-hmm.
that better way you can express yourself, according to
Mm-hmm.
me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because
Right.
you have a requirement to gain knowledge. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
existence so many knowledge to describing
Mm-hmm.
into this language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without having knowledge, what will you describe, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Right, right.
Yes,
Like while having any conversation, we can be given any random topics, and if you're not familiar with it, how can we talk about it?
yeah, because without
Then we'll.
having proper
Mm-hmm.
awareness about particular
Mm-hmm.
field, how will you
Mm-hmm.
attempt, how will you try
Mm-hmm.
effort, putting your effort to describing
Mm-hmm.
situationally anything?
Mm-hmm.
I
So it
have
is
heard
important
so
to.
many statements.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Actually,
Mm-hmm. It.
I have heard
Mm-hmm.
so many statements of the learner. They have a
Mm-hmm.
desire only to be fluent in this field, but they do not
Mm-hmm.
want to gain the knowledge of a different kinds of
Mm-hmm.
criteria. That is a much
Mm-hmm.
requirement, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, you're exactly right. And that we should have at least a gist of every, domain or everything what is going around us. We should have at least a gist of all the things that is happening around us, so that we could be able to speak something at least. Mm.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Because yes, ma'am.
So I was asking you, what resources do you use to get these knowledge from, like extra knowledge? Do
Uh,
you use YouTube only?
no, actually, ma'am, if I honestly telling you, I do not follow any channel, not listening
Mm-hmm.
any people's statement. It is my
Mm-hmm.
own ideas,
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
perceptions, what I
Mm-hmm.
experimenting it myself in the corner of
Mm-hmm.
my room. You can consider
Mm-hmm.
because I love
Mm-hmm.
to spend my time to be alone,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not in the
Right, right.
crowd of the peoples.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because if you are investing your much of time with the crowd of
Mm-hmm.
peoples, at that time your
Mm-hmm.
mind will be not, you know, acting such a
Mm-hmm.
manner that you want into your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So are you kind of an introvert person?
Yeah, you can
Mm-hmm.
say, yeah, you can consider like I'm a very
Mm-hmm.
optimistic person. Situationally,
Mm-hmm.
I optimize myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you think like if any person is an introvert, that can hold them back for having an effective communication if
Yeah,
they
of
are
course.
always introvert?
Yeah, of course. But it would be depend on their mentality, their thoughts, what they
Mm-hmm.
consider, what is
Mm-hmm.
the exact perception of their. If they are
Mm-hmm.
able to, changing self, mentality, thoughts, all these things
Mm-hmm.
in a switch manner, in a quick
Mm-hmm.
manner, so
Mm-hmm.
that would be much convenient for all of them. But I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't say, like certainly it must happen. It's up
Mm-hmm.
to the people's, right?
Right, it is up to the people. And as per my understanding, if a person is an introvert, then he would not be able to express him very nicely because he's always, reserved. He's always been reserved and not, going in the public or not, he is, socially awkward, you can say. So to have that qualities to be socially, open with other people, to have that qualities, you actually have to dive in that social place, right? But if they don't go and meet people, then how they will be able to, interact or how they'll be able to express their ideas nicely to people. So it is
Yeah, yeah,
important to have the other person's perspective also. Then only you can, give your own perspective and, get a essence out of both the perspectives,
of
like
course, ma'am.
overall essence.
And in that situation, awareness will help them. All of that kinds of
Mm-hmm.
person, as much as
Mm-hmm.
they are going to aware self about a
Mm-hmm.
different kinds of personalities, environment,
Mm-hmm.
right? Natures
Mm-hmm.
that will help them to optimize self
Mm-hmm.
situationally, according to me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm. Those who
Becoming introvert,
those mm-hmm.
yeah, I was telling you, ma'am, becoming
Mm-hmm.
introvert person, there is no issue, but
Mm-hmm.
it's your responsibility how you will maintain your
Mm-hmm.
whole life balance. Because
Mm-hmm.
without having several kinds of maturity, how will you handle a situation of your life?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
a quite you know essential for you to maintain the balance of your life by grasping each and every experiences of the life and natures of the
Mm-hmm.
people, standards, all
Mm-hmm.
these things.
Right, right. But the thing that you have told me, that you mean to say if a person is an ambivert, like he's occasionally, sometimes he's an extrovert and sometime introvert, and then that person is called an ambivert. So it is always good to be an ambivert only, so that you could open up to the people occasionally or whenever the situation demands.
Yeah. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like that because I have a
Mm-hmm.
both of kinds of experiences. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
can optimize myself situationally. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
requirement,
Mm-hmm.
according to me, it's a very requirement because every
Mm-hmm.
situation are not as similar as you expect
Mm-hmm.
from your life. Situation
Right.
has been changing in a moment. So you have to be
Exactly.
prepared for each and every
Mhm.
situation,
Mhm.
upcoming challenges into your life.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's why.
Exactly. That's a great attitude of yours, and you should remain like this only. Being ambivert is really great, and even if a person is extremely extrovert, that is also wrong. In my understanding, that is also wrong because
Of course.
they are outspoken sometimes. So that is not a good attitude.
Yes, ma'am. Because
Mhm.
your appearance will never tell all these things, as generally
Mhm.
the people have been wanting from you, right?
Mhm.
Your,
Mhm.
I think your words will define how better you are, especially in this
Mhm.
era, right?
Mhm.
Because you
Mhm.
can consider like so many people are looking very smart, but
Mhm.
from inside they are very weak and not
Mhm.
that much levels as generally the
Mhm.
people have been expecting from them. In comparison to
Mhm.
that person who doesn't have the better look, better appearance,
Mhm.
but they are better
Mhm.
than that person, right?
Exactly. Yes, so this is a generation where people, don't feel conscious about their looks or however they are carrying themselves, but they are more into what the knowledge they carry or what speciality they carry. So they are more into that and they are neglecting all the flaws in them, and that is a very good thing that we have in this era.
Yes, ma'am. Because
Mm.
especially the requirement is just to relate your words to the other.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to relate other people's,
Mm-hmm.
according to all of them, you are a good
Mm-hmm.
person. But
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts, it's a little different from all of them. So you are
Mm-hmm.
looking like an alien around them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reality.
Mm-hmm. But
So
if
it's
you
a
are
very,
speaking right, but
yeah,
if you are speaking right, then you could be a role model for them. You can influence them the right way, isn't it?
yeah, you're right,
Mm.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So I think we've been talking for a while now. And I have to go and prepare my lunch also. So it's like I'm not very much, you can say I'm not very much expert in this language.